Hi, welcome to Bualiba Contracting Safety Induction Training Program. Welcome to Site 334. I am I.T.A.L Thomas, HSE Officer. Now you are here for a small induction program. It will help you to understand about our site. You may attend hundreds of safety inductions at different site and company, but the main reason of this induction is, safety induction is a site-specific and you will get a clear picture of the current condition of the site, company rules, regulation and procedures. Please turn off your mobile. During the time induction you are not permitted to use mobile phone. We need your attention in the session. Client BHR. Consultant, National Bureau of Engineering. Main contractor, BHC. Project description, 15-story residential building, BHC Health, Safety and Environment Concept, BHC Company's HSE concept and vision is provide a safe workplace to all the employees. Zero accident target. BHC is as well as dedicated to zero tolerance for incidents to complete this project. So, our company generated a safety policy and clearly stated that BHC committed to following all federal law and legislation to provide a safe working environment and workplace. As an employee of our site, you must follow the rules of Dubai. As I said, we are following safety rules as per the Dubai Municipality Code of Practice and BHC Health and Safety Plan. Whenever you come to the site you have to wear personnel protective equipment. Helmet, safety shoe, uniform, reflective vest etc. General site rules. The following general site rules shall apply to all personnel involved in the project. Zero tolerance to drug, alcohol and smoking while in any workplace. Moreover, doing horseplay, harassment, and fighting prohibited at site. Site welfare arrangements. BHC will be provide welfare facilities at site like rest area, toilet, hand wash, first aid and drinking water facilities etc. in the site. Those provisions are provided in the yard area. Remember, first aid and drinking facility will be available ground floor area. Emergency. In the construction site, most common emergency situation is fire. There are a number of reasons for occur a fire accident, example hot work, short circuit, poor housekeeping, smoking at site etc. Emergency procedure. In the event of fire, don't get panic. In case if the fire is small and if you train you can use fire extinguisher. Or evacuate the area when you hear the fire alarm. Proceed to the assembly point through fire exit route. Report to your supervisor at assembly point. Do not re-enter the building until all clear signal. In this project, we have multiple entrances and exit available. Usually, emergency assembly point is situated near the security gate. Moreover, you can also check display evocation layouts. Next is, top 10 safety rules. 1. Always be responsible for the safety of yourself and others. 2. Always remember all accidents are preventable. 3. Always follow company rules, regulations and procedures. 4. Always assess the risks, stop and think. Always be proactive about safety. 6. Always deter from situations you're not trained to handle. 7. Always manage the lift. 8. Always be prepared. 9. Always practice good housekeeping. 10. Always take the safest path, never take shortcuts. Safety signage. When you entering a site, you can see many safety signages, like, do not enter falling objects, no smoking etc. Why safety signages are important and follow. A safety sign provides information and warning about safety or health hazards. It will be color tape, acoustic signal, verbal communication, or hand signal. Some signboards provides information or instruction using a combination of shape, color and symbols but excludes information in writing. The next is permit to work system. A permit-to-work system is a formal written system used to control certain types of work that are potentially hazardous. In those documents which specifies the work to be done and the precautions to be taken. Permits to work forms an essential part of safe systems of work for many maintenance activities. These permit systems are available in BHC's site. When you take a permit, ensure all the permit precautions are taken and submit to BU-Aliba SHSE department for further approval to perform the activity. Note: do not perform a high-risk activity without the approval of HSE team. There are many types of safe work permits available in BHC site. 1. Hot work permit, the presence of flammable materials in the equipment. The presence of combustible materials that burn or give off flammable vapors when heated. The presence of flammable gas in the atmosphere, or gas entering from an adjacent area, such as sewers that have not been properly protected. 2. Cold work permit. Cold work permits are used in hazardous maintenance work that does not involve hot work. 3. Confined space entry permit. Confined space entry permits are used when entering any confined space such as a tank, vessel, tower, pit or sewer. The permit should be used in conjunction with a code of practice that describes procedures to follow. 4. Special permits. BHC use special permits to cover specific hazards such as A. MEP shaft, lift shaft works. B. Extremely hazardous conditions. C. Radioactive materials. D. Dangerous chemicals. F. Excavations. G. Power supplies. H. Work at height, etc. The next is site traffic and speed rules. The causes of accidents. 1. Speeding. 2. Ignoring traffic signs. 3. Drinking and driving. 4. Using mobile while driving. 5. Condition of vehicle, brakes, tires, etc. 6. Failure to look before reversing.
Follow road traffic rules. You must walk on the walkways only. Avoid shortcuts. Do not enter into the area where work is in progress or where area is barricaded for work. Do not use mobile while driving the vehicle. The seat belt is a must while driving the vehicles like cars, trucks, trailers, etc. Do not overtake any vehicle. It is prohibited to sit or sleep under any vehicle.
Monthly color coding system. BHC has monthly color coding procedures at the site. To ensure tool and equipment safe use, the following tools and equipment BHC incorporated in the color coding system. 1. Lifting equipment and amp. Accessories. 2. Machinery. 3. Electrical DBs. 4. Ladders. 5. Power tools. Lifting operations. The most dangerous activity in construction is lifting operations. There are many hazards associated in the lifting operation. 1. Crane failure. 2. Dropping a load/falling of load. 3. Striking personnel and or equipment with load. preventing accidents during lifting operations. 1. Before starting work, make sure you have been properly briefed. 2. Take the time to check the lifting plan against what you actually see on site. 3. Check the method of work with your supervisor and raise any concerns. 4. Only act as a slinger signaler if you are trained, authorized and competent to do so. 5. Work to the standard hand signals, and ensure that you understand your role in the operation. 6. Do not enter an exclusion zone. 7. Always check SWL. 8. Always check the weather condition. 9. Only permitted to operate the crane authorized personnel. 10. Use a tagline to control the load from a distance. 11. Never stand directly under any suspended the load. 12. Always report the unsafe condition and acts to HSE department.
If the angle of sling triangle is bigger, it will create more pressure on the sling. This will reduce the capacity of lifting weight. Make sure that the angle of the sling triangle is smaller, which will increase the capacity of lifting weight and is safer. Lifted weight should be properly tied up by the guide rope so that it does not hit any person or object. Only trained signalman should signal the operator, and don't bypass the safety system. Don't use cell phones while operating the cranes. Don't be part of the lifting operation if you have consumed alcohol or drugs. Never leave the load hanging. If the load is in hanging position, then at that point, operator should not leave the cabin.
Safe at heights. Work at height means work in any place where, if precautions were not taken, a person could fall a distance liable to cause personal injury. You are working at height if you work above ground floor level. Could fall from an edge, through an opening or fragile surface, or could fall from ground level into an opening in a floor or a hole in the ground.
Working at heights is working in any place where, if precautions are not taken, a person could fall and injure themselves. This can happen above ground level, at or below ground level, or at a very low height. Remember, you don't have to fall from a great height to be hurt. So always be aware. We want you to work safely and take the necessary care and precautions, because working at heights can be very dangerous. So follow these golden rules to stay safe. Always have edge protection in place to stop objects from falling on people below. Always have barricades in place to stop people and objects from falling over the edge. Always be trained and aware of dangers when working at height. Always keep work areas tidy to prevent falls and objects falling on others. Use personal protective equipment such as hard hats, safety harnesses, and other safety equipment. These should be in good condition. Ensure your safety harness is hooked up to a secure anchor point. Remember to hook up as high as possible. The higher the anchor point, the shorter the fall. always secure ladders correctly and make sure they are in good condition and on stable ground. Keep tools from falling by securing and tying them to your wrist or belt when working on high platforms or scaffolds. Make sure edge protection is in place, like screens and netting, guardrails, and toe boards. This will prevent objects or people from falling over the side and prevent injuries. Barricade off dangerous areas like excavations, openings such as open drains and shafts, or the ground below scaffolding or platforms, so that people can't fall into them or be hit by falling objects. Untrained workers make mistakes and make incidents more likely to happen. Ask your supervisor if you are unsure of the safety precautions you should take or what the hazards are. Make sure you are trained and authorized to work in the area and with the equipment. A trained worker is a safe worker.
Scaffolding and ladder. Common threats associated with scaffolds. 1. Falls from elevation, due to lack of fall protection. 2. Collapse of the scaffold, caused by instability or overloading. 3. Being struck by falling tools, work materials, or debris. 4. Electrocution, principally due to proximity of the scaffold to overhead power lines. As you can see in the picture, some unsafe scaffold and methods examples. BHC does not entertain this kind of scaffolds using at the site.
One of the pipe fitters kicks the spool piece off the scaffold, which lands in front of the pedestrian when she is just a fraction of a second away from walking precisely where the pipe spool lands. In this scenario, an incident has occurred, and it is classified as a near miss because, while no illness, injury, environmental event, or property damage has occurred, the potential was there for this incident to have been far worse.
Mobile scaffold shall only be used and moved on surfaces sufficiently firm and level to ensure stability. Use ladder or steps provided in the scaffold to climb up or down. Do not step on cross bracings. Do not overload the mobile scaffold. Move the mobile scaffold only by manually pushing or pulling at the base. Remember to lock the wheels when towers are in use. No person or material is permitted to remain on a mobile scaffold while it's being moved. Do not extend from the working platform as it may tilt the scaffold. Always use the proper access and egress provided in the scaffold. Do not sit or lean on the scaffold hand railings. Do not overload the scaffold platforms. Use the double lanyard safety harness and the fall arrestor while climbing up or down the scaffold. Never throw anything from the scaffold. They may injure the person standing below. Do not leave any gap while placing the walkway platform boards.
MEP shaft and lift shaft works. Unprotected holes at construction sites are extremely dangerous. They need to be securely covered or guarded in order to protect against injuries resulting from falls through these openings. Serious injuries and even deaths have occurred when workers have fallen through holes, shafts or other openings which were unguarded, covered by materials that were not strong enough to support the workers. Ensure the following safe work procedures to eliminate or reduce the risk. 1. Carry out risk assessments for all work and service risers. Identify possible hazards and implement control measures to reduce the risks. 2. Obtain necessary work permit prior to start the activities and provide proper training. A. Use correct PPE and ensure necessary safety precautions taken while performing an activity in dangerous areas as per the permit, safety harness, etc. B. If you make a hole or open a hole, guard it. Before cutting the hole, barricade the work area. C. If the hole must be open, install permanent barricades around the perimeter. D. If the hole is not guarded, it must be covered. F. When access through holes is required, specific arrangements must be made by the supervisor for the removal/modification replacement of the protection as necessary, ensuring that holes are never left unprotected. J. If any high-risk activity associated that requires PTW, that is hot work, CSE, take additional permit and safety precaution. K. Adequate lighting to be provided. L. Ensure availability of barricades protection to prevent unauthorized or accidental entry and amp. Exclusion zone for the area below. M. Ensure provide proper overhead protection. N. Ensure safe access/working platform provided. O. Ensure forced ventilation provide if necessary. P. Ensure means of communication available, like mobile and walkie-talk. Q. Ensure availability of rescue procedure and equipment. Some example of shaft protection: if you find a hole, expose it immediately for others to see, barricade it or post someone to warn others of the danger, and notify your supervisor. Even shallow holes can cause serious injuries. The next is confined space. A confined space is a place which is substantially enclosed, though not always entirely, and where serious injury can occur from hazardous substances or conditions within the space or nearby. For example, lack of oxygen. 1. Toxic atmosphere. A toxic atmosphere may cause various acute effects, including impairment of judgment, unconsciousness and death. 2. Oxygen deficiency. 3. Oxygen enrichment. 4. Flammable or explosive atmospheres. 5. Excessive heat, etc.
A confined space is defined as an area that has sufficient space for a person to enter and perform work, has limited or restricted means for entry or exit, and is not designed for continuous occupancy. Confined spaces can be above or below ground, and despite the name, they can be quite large. For example, sewer systems are considered confined spaces. Some other common examples of confined spaces include tanks, silos, hoppers, pits, tunnels, pipelines, and ductwork. All hazards typically found in regular work areas can also be found in confined spaces, but there are additional hazards that make confined spaces more dangerous. Confined spaces that present safety or health hazards require a permit for entry, so they are called permit-required confined spaces. This module will describe OSHA's permit-required confined space regulations and typical confined space emergency response procedures.
The next is electrical hazards. So, as a preventive method, all the electrical work should be carried by a competent electrician. Follow the rules. 1. Inspect all the cable, socket before use. 2. Use correct PPE. 3. Never use naked wire. 4. Do not make any alteration repair by yourself. 5. Never use any power on wet condition. 6. Always ensure all the power color-coded and tagged. 7. Follow lockout-tag-out system.
Lockout and tag-out should be done while the machine is under maintenance by isolating the power supply. All the rotating parts should be guarded. Never wear loose clothes at machines. All the portable equipment should be with 3-pin plug and 3-pin power supply. Portable lamp should have a mesh guard and it should have supply of 24 volts. Never change the place of a halogen lamp when it is in on condition. No one should alter the electrical connections at any condition. Only trained and authorized persons should do this.
Excavation. Working in excavations is an extremely dangerous operation in construction. The hazards and risks are usually 1. Collapse of the sides of the excavation. 2. Materials falling onto the people working in the excavation. 3. People and vehicles falling into the excavation. 4. The undermining of nearby structures causing the collapse into the excavation. 5. Damage to underground services during excavation work causing electrocution, explosion, gas escape, flooding, etc.
Excavation works. Protection from underground utilities. We all know that several utilities may be present underground, such as electric cables, water pipelines, gas pipeline, sewage pipeline, other communication cables. These utilities may get damaged or cause harm to us if not properly identified and isolated. Before starting any excavation, your supervisor will take a work permit for necessary areas that are to be excavated. This will ascertain the presence of underground utilities, and if they are present, then such utilities are properly isolated. This permit is given by the section in charge, and it is a clearance to start excavation and the corresponding safety precautions to be taken. Based on the work permit, your supervisor will instruct you take one or more of the following precautions depending on site conditions. Locating underground utilities using markers and drawings. Locating utilities using advanced equipments such as cable avoidance tool. Making trial pits to check the presence of utilities, etc. Isolating the services. Your job is to follow the instructions of the supervisor carefully while doing excavation. Do not forget to use insulated tools and tackles during excavation to prevent accidental contact with power lines. Still, if you come across any symptoms of presence of utilities, immediately stop the work and report to your supervisor.
Next is housekeeping. Poor housekeeping causes for many hazards and serious accidents in the construction site. Poor housekeeping can be a cause of incidents, such as 1. Tripping over loose objects on floors, stairs and platforms. 2. Being hit by falling objects. 3. Slipping on greasy, wet or dirty surfaces. 4. Striking against projecting, poorly stacked items or misplaced material. 5. Cutting, puncturing, or tearing the skin of hands or other parts of the body on projecting nails, wire or steel strapping. 6. Fire. You can see some example of poor housekeeping at the site.
Good housekeeping plays an important role in maintaining safe and proper work condition. On the other hand, untidy and unclean areas are the place of many accidents. Keep workplaces clean and tidy. Ladders, stairs, doors, floors, stores. Emergency exits are to have no obstruction or any slippery items. All tools and tackles shall be kept at their designated places duly marked.
So, a good housekeeping program helps to prevent accidents at the site. As a site employee, the following procedures are your responsibility at the site. 1. Clean up during the shift. 2. Ensure the day-to-day cleanup. 3. Follow proper material storage. 4. Do not leave work materials unattended in the access areas. 5. Do not store any materials in the edges and opening areas. 6. Store combustible materials separate. Remember, do not smoke in the workplace or overload equipments, which may cause a fire. Safety award and incentive programs. To motivate the workforce, monthly safety appreciation certificates (BHC) will be distributed to the workforce and supervision staff, based on the compliance to safety and other related factors, training attendance/reporting of near misses, personal contribution to positive safety culture, etc. Remember, safety violation BHC will not entertain at the site. You all are working under BHC and you are responsible to follow the site safety rules. You may be a project manager, project engineer, HSE officer, site engineer, subcontractor and a construction worker, but the site rules and regulation are equal to everyone, so please comply. If found any violation from your side, the company will take necessary action against you. Thank you for your kind attention. Safe way is the best way. Please ensure before leaving, sign the induction sheet and collect HSE induction sticker and affix it on the hard hat.